Today I'm going to share with you some great recipes for your Easter dinner. We're going to start with pineapple glazed honey ham. Then we'll move on to some garlic mashed potatoes, some steamed broccoli, and we're going to top it off with a fantastic key lime pie. So let's get cooking. First up is our pineapple glazed honey ham. Here are the ingredients that we're going to be using today. We're going to start with your ham. You need about a 2.5 pound ham. This one here is a honey ham. It's already sliced. If you get one that's not sliced, you just need it big enough so you can get about 18 slices from it. You're going to need a couple of cans of pineapple slices. Each of these cans here is about 20 ounces. You're going to need 1 jar of maraschino cherries, about 3/4 cups of brown sugar. You're going to use about 2 teaspoons of some spicy brown mustard, or Dijon mustard works well, and then a couple of tablespoons of some apple juice. Now, I don't use apple juice a lot, so I'm just going to use some from one of these little boxes. And you also need to have a baking dish to put all your slices in. All of the measurements and instructions for this recipe will be listed in the description section below the video. You're going to preheat your oven to 400. Now we have everything ready to prepare our slices. You're going to have your 18 slices of ham, your pineapple, and also 18 little cherries, and you're going to fix each slice just like this, and then we're going to place all 18 of those into our baking dish. We now have all of our slices prepared and in our baking dish, and for the first part of the baking, we're going to cover this with foil and bake it for about 15 minutes. So we're going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now we're going to mix up our glaze. We're going to put in here our brown sugar, our mustard, and our apple juice. Here's what it's going to look like once you've mixed up your brown sugar and your apple juice and your mustard. And I tell you, this smells really, really good. So let's go check on the ham real quick. So I've taken the slices out. They were cooked for about 15 minutes. And now we're going to take our glaze over here and we're just going to drizzle that on top of these slices. And then we're going to put it back in the oven. We're out of the oven and we've cooked in there for about 15 minutes, and now we're taking our glaze and we're just drizzling this on each one of our slices. And we're going to do that on each slice. Just drizzle a little bit here, drizzle a little bit here on each slice, and then we're going to put this back in the oven. We're back in for about 5 minutes, and we're going to do this about 4 times. Now we're just going to drizzle some more sauce. Now we're going to drizzle some sauce on each slice, just like we did the first time. We're going to put it back in. Here we go, and now we're going to leave it uncovered, and I'll see you in about 5 minutes. Well, we are looking good, and I think we are just about done, so let's take them out and take a peek. Oh wow, now this just looks wonderful. And next we're going to whip up those awesome garlic mashed potatoes. For our ingredients today, we're going to start with the potatoes. You need about 5 pounds of bacon potatoes. You can also add in some golden potatoes if you would like. For your garlic, you need about 6 to 7 cloves. Also have on hand some garlic powder to use for your seasoning at the end. A cup of milk, some coarse kosher salt, some black pepper, coarse ground is the best. Also a couple of bunches of scallions or green onions, 2 sticks of butter, and then about 4 ounces of cream cheese. Our potatoes are now ready to be boiled. They have been peeled and cut into smaller pieces, so they will boil quicker and a lot more evenly. Our potatoes are in the pot and they will start boiling soon, and we'll be back in a few minutes. While our potatoes are boiling, we're going to go ahead and get our garlic and butter mixture ready. You're going to take your cup of butter, your 6 cloves of garlic, your 2 sticks of butter, your salt, and place all of that in a saucepan on medium on your cooktop. Our garlic and butter mixture is now on the stove, or like I said, we'll put that on medium just until we get it melted. And then after it gets completely melted, we're just going to set it aside until the potatoes are ready. But look at all of that garlic. Ooh, it's going to taste so good. So I'll be back in a few minutes after this all melts. We're almost done. This has been melting for about 5 minutes. It probably needs about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then just take it off of the heat and let it sit. And then over here with our potatoes, it looks like we've been going for about maybe 15 minutes, and we need at least another 15 minutes. While we're waiting for the potatoes to finish boiling, go ahead and get your cream cheese ready. You want it to sit it out. It's about 4 ounces. There'll be half a block of cream cheese. Want to make sure it's sitting out so it gets nice and soft. And then over here for your scallions or green onions, go ahead and get them chopped up. The white part of the onion there, we're going to use that to place inside the mashed potatoes. And then the green leafy part, go ahead and chop that up, and we're going to use that for some decoration on top when we get all finished. Our potatoes are done boiling and I've drained the water, and I like to go ahead and put the potatoes back in the pot or leave them in the pot and then turn the burner on low and then just toss the potatoes around, and that way it just dries them a little bit. It gets rid of some of that water. Well, you can still see the steam coming off the potatoes. I just took them off the cooktop. I let them sit in the pan for probably about 3 or 4 minutes to remove some of the water, and that's going to help your garlic and butter mixture soak up in the potatoes. So we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to take the garlic and butter mixture, put it in here. I'm also going to take the onions and the cream cheese and mix all of that together. I'm going to be using a hand mixer today. You can also use a KitchenAid mixer. So we'll get that mixing and I'll be right back. Just want to add a little bit of your black pepper all across the top. Well, here we go. We have taken our mashed potatoes, placed them in a nice baking dish, garnished the top with the rest of our chopped green onions. Now we're going to cook our wonderful steamed broccoli. To get started with our steamed broccoli, we're going to want to have 2 heads of fresh broccoli. We're going to have some black pepper, basil, some garlic powder, some crushed red pepper, some lemon pepper, and some minced onion. You also want to have on hand some butter to use as the topping at the end, and also some fresh garlic would be great. We're going to go ahead and start our pot of water boiling. And just put probably about 1/4 of water there in your pot. Now before I put the broccoli actually in the steamer basket, I like to cut it up. I like to cut them here at all these little junctions, and so then that way when it's all steamed and you're ready to serve it, it's a lot easier. So we're going to cut all of these items off right here. So I've gone ahead and I've cut up one of the heads of broccoli into smaller pieces. We're going to cut this one up and then we'll put it over on the stovetop. Now once we get the broccoli all cut up, then we're going to start putting on our seasonings. I like to put the seasonings on before I steam them and then a little bit after I steam them, and I think it makes a really big difference. Okay, so we're going to start with some black pepper, and I like to just eyeball it, but I will put some measurements that I have measured out before in the description below the video. That was some basil. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder on top, and this all just filters through to the other levels. A little bit of lemon pepper, some minced onion, and then I like to take just a little bit of crushed red pepper, gives it just a little bit of pop. And I just leave all of this sitting on top while I steam it. Now we're ready to go over to the stovetop. Looks like the broccoli is all done. Let's check it out. Yep, it is ready to go. So we have the broccoli off the stove, and now we're just going to pour some of the melted butter over the broccoli. And be sure and take your fresh garlic and put in here, and also some pepper. And there you go. There you've got it. Some great steamed broccoli. Here are the ingredients that we're going to use today, and I will list all of these plus the directions for the recipe in the description below the video. We're going to start with the items for our crust. Now I like to use these digestive cookies. I had never heard of these until about 3 or 4 years ago. They're great for your crust. I pick them up at my local grocery store. You can also get them on Amazon. You're going to need some sour cream, some lime juice. I love Nellie and Joe's lime juice. I think it's the best. You're going to need about 2 cans of some condensed milk, and then for your butter, about 5 tablespoons, and then you need 1 lime. Here are what these cookies look like, and they're good sized cookies and they're really hard, and that's what makes them really good for the crust. And I like to take them and put them in a Ziploc bag and then take my rolling pin and just crush these, and you will need about probably 1 cup of these. So we've melted our butter, and now we are adding to that melted butter, we're adding our crushed up cookies. And this is going to be our crust. So we're just going to mix all this together. Let's get all of them in there. Once we get this mixed up, now we're going to press it into the bottom of our pie pan. Today I'm actually using a disposable pie pan because we're going to be taking this to a party. We're just going to dump in here our cookies with melted butter, and now we're going to just press it all in to the bottom of the pie pan. So now we have our pie crust all ready. All the cookies have been pressed into the sides and the bottom, and then we're going to set this aside. And now we're going to mix up the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to start with a medium-sized mixing bowl, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour in our condensed milk. So you've got 2 cans to pour in. Next, we're going to add in our 4 ounces of sour cream. We're going to mix together that condensed milk and sour cream. It's doing really good. And it may look like it's not going to absorb it all, but it will. We just want to make sure we've mixed together really well that condensed milk and your 4 ounces of sour cream. Then, after you've got that all mixed together, we're now going to add in our lime juice. We've got about 6 ounces of lime juice to add in. And you're just going to mix and mix, and it's going to absorb all that lime juice. Now once you have all of that mixed really well, it's going to thicken up as you're doing this. And then you're going to take your lime and just grate a little bit of the rind on that lime, and you're going to cover the top. So now we've grated quite a bit of rind off that lemon. You just put it across the top like that, and now we're going to mix it all together. And this is going to make it taste so good, and it's also going to be really pretty. So now we're all ready to pour our mixture into our pie pan. So we're going to preheat our oven today, and we are going to put it on 200. So now we're all ready to go into the oven, and we're just going to bake this for about probably 5 to 8 minutes, just long enough to let it set. So our pie has had a chance to cool, and now we're going to decorate it, and there's lots of different ways that I like to decorate these. Today I'm going to be using some limes, and I've kind of just cut them up, and I put a little design here on my cutting board, and I'm going to now transfer this over to the pie. So here we go. I've transferred the limes over to the top of the pie, and I think it just turned out so nice, and I promise you are just going to love how this tastes. I hope this will help you with your Easter dinner plans. Be sure and watch that next video that pops up. Have a great day. Bye-bye.